This story was submitted by Jami. I was 20 at the time this took place. I'm 29 now, and I'm female. At the time, I had a job at a moving company as a mover. There were many times I would have clients, mainly men, say that they don't want a woman to do their moving, saying that a woman wouldn't be able to do the work. I would say the usual, "Give me a chance. If I don't show you I can work as well or better than any other guy, I will leave and my boss will send someone else." The men I worked with always had my back as well. After working, it was clear to these people that I was just as good as any other worker, if not better. I always had to prove myself though, but I am a tomboy and have always had to prove myself. One day my friend and I that I always worked with were sent to do a drop-off in Missouri. The man and woman who were moving seemed really nice, but the man worried about me not being able to do the work, so I gave him my spiel. He agreed to give me a chance, but he followed me everywhere. At first it was no big deal. Sometimes clients will do this because we are strangers to them and we are touching all their stuff. Whatever, I just keep working. After a while, I get a bad feeling, and I know to trust this feeling, so I start paying more attention to everything. I also stayed closer to my friend. He had shown at other times that he would watch out for me. This was not the first weird or creepy thing to happen to me at this job. I tell him about my feeling, which he also trusted, and he made sure to stay close by. After an hour there, I get a drink of water, and I hear the man on the phone. He had stopped following me since I stayed close to my friend. I hear him describing someone on the phone, and I realize quickly that it's me he's describing. I keep listening. I hear him tell whoever he is talking to what motel we will be staying at. How he found out all of this, I have no idea. He then said, "She's perfect for you. She is strong and will be a nice challenge." I am freaking out, thinking, what the hell is going on? I told my friend about the phone call, and he says I probably misheard, and most likely he wasn't talking about me. After another 2 hours, we leave and go to our motel. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about what I heard. I made sure to lock the window and the door, and I even pushed the dresser in front of the door. Around 2 a.m. I hear someone at the door messing with the handle. I call the front desk, and I get no answer. I have a boot knife that I take with me when I go on trips, and it's sharp enough that you could shave with it. I try waking my friend, but he is out. "I know you're in there," I hear at the door. "Open the door. I just need help moving some stuff." I don't say a word. I squat down on the other side of the two beds. I hear something scrape the glass, and I start to think about those suction cup things robbers use in movies to cut the glass without letting the glass fall. I go into the bathroom and lock the door. I can't hear what is going on outside now, but at least there is another locked door. I worry about my friend and start pounding on the door. My friend finally wakes up, and he is mad at me for pounding. I told him, through the door, what happened. He says no one is at the door or window. I go out, and I see him shutting the door with a piece of paper in his hand. He wouldn't tell me what it said, but he told me we should leave. We packed our things, and he walked me to the truck, and I locked myself in while he left a note and the room key in the office. As we are leaving, I see a man with something in his hand, but it was too dark to see what. He turned and stopped walking as he watched us drive on. From the headlights, I could see his face. He had the creepiest smile I have ever seen. Whatever he had, he threw it at the truck, and we later found out what that was. I'm a curious person, and I like learning everything I can, so I kept persisting my friend about the note. He refused to show it to me, but after a while he gave me the note saying, "You'll be sorry to read it." The note said, "I will see you in the morning when you two check out. We will have fun tomorrow." I won't go into the details, but it went on to describe what he was going to do to me. Let's just say it was very detailed and completely horrifying. After stopping for gas an hour later, I see something jammed between the cab and the back of the truck. It's a huge knife, much bigger than mine. I used some paper towels and I pulled it out. On the blade was a rusty red colored something. I don't like to think about what caused the stains. I didn't show it to my friend, but I did take it inside to show the gas station attendant and told him that I had found it outside. He took it and threw it out behind the counter. As we were getting ready to leave, a car pulled up and a man got out of the driver's seat. I hear him talking to another man in the passenger side, and the voice is very familiar. I told my friend to go while I slouched down under the windows. I told him it was the same guy and to please just go. We don't believe we were followed, although we've had a few calls from Missouri asking to send the young brown-haired girl with the green eyes. Luckily, the girls in the office are protective of me and told him no women movers work there. I hope I never see or hear that man again. Now that I write this out, it doesn't seem too bad, but it scared the crap out of me. 9 years later, I still listen and watch everything around me, and my guard is never down. This story was submitted by Riley. This story takes place at about 9:30 at night, which made it even scarier for me. Also, I don't know if this has anything to do with what happened, but I'm 17 years old, and even though I don't identify as a girl, I was born female, and most people see me and assume I'm a girl. My mom had been hospitalized back in August for an ongoing health problem. She's in and out of the hospital a lot, so I'm used to getting rides to and from the hospital to go and see her, considering I don't have my own car. My anxiety prevents me from driving. On this particular occasion, my best friend and her brother were going to give me a ride home. I told my mom goodbye and went down to the front of the hospital where people are picked up. My friend texted me and said that her brother was in another section of the parking lot. After a bit of confusion on both of our parts, I went down to the level I thought she was at. Throughout the time I was standing and waiting for them, there was a man standing behind me, off to the side near one of the benches. I didn't really think about it much, however, because we weren't the only ones standing outside. I just assumed he was also waiting for someone to pick him up. This harmless assumption continued until I started walking to another section of the parking lot, and I noticed he was following me. Okay, not too weird, I thought, trying to convince myself that it was just a coincidence. Maybe he parked down on the lower level of the parking lot. He continued to follow me as I walked down the stairs and down the little sidewalk that led to a bench. Before I sat down, scared shitless that this creepy motherfucker was going to sit with me, or worse, my phone rang. I had never been so glad to hear my lame Hobbit ringtone before in my life. "Hey, Jess, where are you and your brother?" I practically screamed into the phone, adding emphasis to "your brother," hoping this guy would assume my friend's brother was big and could at least beat the shit out of him, which was not the case at all, but I had to try. My friend informed me that they were up at the front entrance, where I had been originally. I was relieved, despite the fact that I had to climb the stairs again. I asked her to stay on the phone with me, making it seem like I just wanted to talk or something. At this point, I had the keys to my house in my hand in between two fingers so I could use it as a weapon if need be. By now, the man had scurried off to the parking lot. However, he didn't look like he was looking for any car in particular, or for a car at all. He was just walking around and looking in my direction. I was freaked out that he was going to rush me before I made it up the stairs. I grasped my keys tighter and started rambling on the phone to my friend about how I told my mom that she was coming to pick me up and that she wanted me to call her when I got home. My friend probably thought that I had lost it, but honestly, I was trying anything to get this creepy motherfucker to stop eyeing me like he was going to grab me at any moment. It felt like forever, but eventually I made it up the stairs and over to my friend's brother's car without further incident. I explained to her why I was acting so odd on the phone, and we were both pretty freaked the fuck out at this experience. Looking back now, I may have just been overly anxious and blowing things out of proportion, but at the time it was horrifying, and I honestly thought that I was going to be kidnapped. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Now, for the first story, I can fully understand why you were creeped out by the situation. I would kind of freak out too if someone was describing my characteristics to a person I don't know over the phone, which resulted in some weirdo coming to the door of the motel I was staying at. I think I'd be flipping my shit a little bit too, so I don't blame you on that one. Luckily you were working with a guy who had your back and made sure nothing was going to happen to you. Had he not been there and you been alone, this event could have ended in a very different way. It's also cool that the office ladies had your back too, and made sure to tell the guy that you didn't work there. I'm glad you got out of the situation okay, and at least it showed you how important situational awareness is. So for the second story, very wise decision to stay on the phone with your friend when you think you're being followed. It's better to at least have someone on the line, especially when they're in close proximity. That way, in case anything does happen, they can be over there pretty damn quick, as compared to you being alone and no one knows what happens. He might not have been trying anything, but at the same time I would also find it a little creepy, especially at night, if I had some guy I'd never met following me around a parking lot. I'm glad you made it out of the situation okay. It was very smart of you to have your house key ready as a weapon just in case, but if you had some mace, 1, you wouldn't have to wait for them to get right up on you, and 2, you'd feel a little more confident in that situation. Regardless, great thinking, and I'm happy you made it out of the situation okay. I hope you all have a great day, and if you would like to submit your own story, make sure you check the description to see the methods on how to do so. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and just remember, it's always scarier if it's true.